101
Dalmatians.
Have you seen the live action?
No,
Do
I
you
have
prefer?
not. Just the OG cartoon.
You got to watch live action. Glenn Close crushes it. Thinks she was nominated for an Oscar. Was she? I don't know. I don't have IMDb in front of me. I can't tell. But it's actually really. I haven't seen the sequel, 102 Dalmatians, because I don't want to. Walt Disney once said that he didn't believe in sequels because they ruin the magic of the original. And then,
but now he's dead. And
he's not dead. He's frozen.
he's gone back in time.
And now all we get are Disney sequels.
Yeah.
Christopher Robin looks like a fantastic
film.
That
looks amazing.
I cannot wait to see. I wish there was a little bit more color in the poos.
Yeah, but
maybe they're faded because they're old.
Yeah, who knows? And also trailers sometimes do wacky things.
The pop figures for those coming. Are you gonna get a pop figure of?
No, they're cool though. There are a lot of the flocked ones, so
I would like you to get one so I can look at it while we're. I don't see any new ones today.
I got the Samurai Dead.
Oh my god!
I just got that one. This is the Rebel Scum podcast, where we talk about things you can't see in the room that we're in.
Because we're probably not recording video.
Yep. No, it's recording.
Recording.
Can you see this? Can you see this now? Can you see this now?
Because you didn't see the last one. I'm James.
I'm Brock.
We're talking Star Wars for the 101st week while your roommate sleeps beside us.
And he hates us, but I don't care.
That's okay. He had a busy night working at
the shopping channel. Or today's shopping choice. Check it out. That's what we call it in Canada. I came home I came upstairs and he was watching the shopping channel. I'm like, you cannot put work away.
That's disgusting. I don't think anybody watches it anymore. Let's just go online and be like,
beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop.
By the way, Amazon did not get any of the Nintendo Minis in.
I was at EB Games and they had a stack of them.
Which one?
The one at Air Mills Town Center. Just over.
What day?
Yesterday when I got that.
Interesting. I went there 2 days before that. They didn't have any. But they're easier to get, like the Super Nintendos you can still get.
Oh yeah.
They had when I got the Mini, they had Super Nintendo stuff. I was like, yay!
Nice.
I already have it. Same extension cable for both. Let's talk Star Wars.
Star Wars.
What were we saying? Star Wars is great. You like Star Wars?
I love Star Wars.
I like Star Wars. I don't want to talk about the negativity that's going on in Star Wars. But it is. Stop. So I said last week I'm kind of like off the social media aspect of Star Wars right now.
Okay.
Because I just am so sick of people bitching about everything. It's like people bitch about the movie, then they bitch about the people watching the movie, then they bitch about this person, and then there's and there's so much BS going around that I don't even care about anyone's opinion on anything anymore.
Yeah.
Except for mine.
Only in Star Wars fandom can the director of $1 billion making movie still be considered like, oh, he ruined everything. I'm like, he made a movie you didn't like. He didn't ruin anything. He made a movie you didn't like. Because
it had female characters in it, Brock.
Female characters.
You know the highest Netflix put out a tweet saying The Last Jedi is awesome. Here are 4 reasons why. And it was Leia, Rey, Rose, Holdo.
Yeah. Like, what's the problem?
The haters' faces. Have you heard the James Mangold stuff on Twitter where he?
I heard he
went to the
defended Rian Johnson.
He defended him, but then he said, things need to change, evolve. Comics have never been the same.
Yeah.
And then somebody wrote down, yeah, but maybe the place to change it isn't in a movie titled Episode 8. And he goes, true. And I kind of agreed with that. I don't mind Rian Johnson's trilogy. He can do whatever he wants. But look, I've said this before. I just don't think I think with the exception of the Luke character being different, but still, I think it still probably makes sense of what Luke. The thing is, we don't have any time in between. Any of the movies to tell us what happened to Luke. So all of a sudden, we just get this grumpy Luke. But last time we saw him, he was looking off in optimism at Force Ghosts. Now he's grumpy old Luke who wants to kill his nephew, but he wouldn't kill his father. It's like
Yeah.
Like there's no context for his actions. So that kind of throws us off. But other than that, I really don't think, and I've said this before, that everyone was calling it bold and the bold choices and blah, blah, blah. I never saw any of that. Because killing Snoke, I still think people are like, that's bold. I don't think it's bold because he didn't give us anything on Snoke.
Yeah.
Like if Snoke had a history and we knew his history and then Kylo's like, I'm just going to kill this guy, then I'm like, that's awesome. Because it didn't happen, it's still nice to see the bad guy doing it, but it doesn't matter because Snoke is a nobody. He's useless to me.
Yeah.
He has no impact on the Star Wars lore whatsoever. So I just don't think there are bold choices in it, and Broom Boy's not a bold choice. I just like that's my thing. Like I like the movie and all, but the bold choice quote is always one that I snicker at. I like Snickers.
Maybe this has been said before, but it's like it seems more like we're not following the stories of the rebellion or the resistance, the rebellion, the Empire, the resistance, and the First Order. We're following the story of the Force, because it's sort of like it doesn't matter what Luke ends up doing. It doesn't matter like if Kylo becomes evil or bad. It's sort of saying this is the Force, you can't control it, and this is what happens when you try to. Because it's sort of like, well, wouldn't it would have been great if we open on Force Awakens, or the first time we meet Luke in the new trilogy, he's got a Jedi Academy and they go on fun adventures. But like, then that becomes ridiculous. We might as well just make a movie called Jedi Academy.
But they kind of did that, except that they all die.
But you know what I mean. Like, you go there, it's basically we wanted Jedi Hogwarts. I think that's what a lot of people were hoping for. Some fun, like, Jedi adventures. And I think we should get movies like that at some point. But, like, they made a decision because it's like there's a huge time jump. And it's like, well, what would these characters be like if there wasn't a war, if there was no Sith Lord to fight against? And I think Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams decided, like, these people need to be in a conflict constantly. So when they're in peacetime, it kind of falls apart for them. Which kind of sucks because they're cool characters. And, you know, you could look at the expanded universe of the 90s. It's like, they figured out a way to do it. And they're like, yeah, we could have just done that. But they didn't want to do that. So, like, we can't. But going back to what I originally said, it's like, it seems like the Force is. We're following the Force, where it's like Luke is made a mistake and has realized it's like Jedi, Sith, it doesn't matter. Like, the Force doesn't, it just exists. It's up to like the user how it works. So it's kind of neat to end Last Jedi with Broom Boy. It's like you can destroy all the Jedi and defeat all the Sith. At the end of the day, someone is gonna learn how to use the Force. So like, here it is. Like, if anything, let's just scrub what we've done and let's start again. It's weird that it happens in episode 8. Maybe it would have been better in episode 9, but I don't know. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the Force aspect really lines up with what George Lucas said his sequel trilogy would have been about.
Right, with the wills, yeah.
But I just... My problem with the Force in the sequel trilogy is it's almost like what Han Solo says, that's not how the Force works. It's like people could just go... and they're doing things. Yeah. And like there should be an intuition, and you don't quite understand why you have that intuition, but you know you have it.
Yeah.
And then over time, maybe you learn to do it or whatever. But right now, what we're seeing is just characters, Rey, Broom Boy. They're just like, oh, I'm just going to do stuff. And from what we know of the Force over all this time is that's not how the Force, like Anakin could pod race because of the Force, but he never understood that.
It was just second nature.
Yeah, and he didn't move things. The Force just kind of guided him, and some people are speculating that Han's the same. But now they're physically manipulating objects and moving them willingly, which kind of is like, but like, don't cheapen my worry is cheapening of the Force. Because when you cheapen the Force, then they're just superheroes, and we already have the MCU and the amazing DCEU, and like we already have I don't want the Force just to be superheroes. And I want the stories, and they are, and I want the stories to be bigger than the MCU movies in a way that I feel like there is an importance to them individually and on a smaller scale. Whereas, because I was talking about the MCU, like how like to people like I'd asked you side by side with the DCU and stuff.
Yeah.
But like for me, the MCU feels like I haven't seen Ant. Have you seen Ant-Man yet?
No, not yet.
I really want to, but I haven't. But I feel like I'm gonna watch it and be like, that was really good, and in 3 months be like, oh yeah, that was a good movie. Like it has no impact on anything because then I have to get ready for Captain Marvel and then Avengers 4 and then Nick Fury and all these other things. Whereas Star Wars is like Episode 7 has an impact that leads you into 8.
Yeah.
That leads you into 9, and then but it's confined in that.
Yeah.
And you want to go back and keep watching them. And look, the MCU, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just a different thing. It's 10 years of movies. It's not like it's tiring. I'm not going to sit down and watch 10 years worth of like 18 movies. 6 movies in Star Wars was fine, like over a week or two. I could do that. But like a smaller, more impactful story with more stakes involved is what I want from my sequel show. I don't know what 9's about.
I don't know. I don't know.
I want fun.
I don't know. It's just like you could talk about the prequels too and harp on them, but like maybe they're not as. It's just like it's such a crazy phenomenon that Star Wars has. Where it's like you can't do that. I'm like, why? There's no rules. Like when I said, I think I said earlier off camera, it's like in the Spielberg documentary, he was talking about like George Lucas is like he showed it to his director friends, De Palma, Spielberg, Coppola. It's like they're like, this is neat, but like I don't understand what is going on. And that's where the crawl comes from. Like, it's just like he just set out to make a movie, and look what it became. Like and you can't when you compare it to comics. It's like there's some similarities, but you kind of can't because there's 50 years of content for that. So like if you don't tell it the exact same way, it's fine. But now the Star Wars is like the question is is it sacrilege? Is it like how do you look at Star Wars? Is it a fun movie or is it like a religion where it's just like, yes, then the Force does this and then there's balance?
I think I think there is a huge difference though between comics and Star Wars and the MCU and Star Wars. And Star Wars comics are one thing, but the movies should see how I would disagree that there are rules within the movie universe of Star Wars now, because we've had before the sequel trilogy we had 6 movies that told us the rules of the universe that we lived in. And it's when you start to deviate from the rules that have been preset in the saga. So Game of Thrones, Rian Johnson, Favreau, they want to make their own rules. Yeah. That's still questionable though, because it's Star Wars is the brand. Yeah. Can you change the rules of a Star Wars brand? The Force needs to be in there. Because it's Star Wars. I just think, I think at the end of the day, I think we'll get it at some point, but there needs to be, not for me personally, because I don't really care too much, to be honest, but more lightsaber battles I think are needed. Yeah. I think people really are they want to watch a good lightsaber battle. And the thing is, if it was just the original trilogy, I don't think we would be bitching about that so much. But because the prequel trilogy gave us some lightsaber battles, which people just bitch about anyway. Yeah. So freaking annoying. Like, no one, you know what? Let's go to Digital Spy. Do you want anything more to say?
Give us 7 theories that.
I'm just so annoyed with everybody in the fan base. Oh, there needs to be more lightsaber fights. The lightsaber fights in the prequel trilogy, they look too fake.
I was talking to someone about Han Solo at work. I can't remember what. There was he's like, why is it like this? I'm like, well, blah, 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 blah. And then he said something, and I just no. No, it wasn't even about Han Solo. He was talking about Last Jedi, because I guess he just watched it on Netflix. And he's like, why is that planet white, but then you step on it, it's red? I was like, that's art. That is art. In the middle of it was one of the guys.
They explain it's salt on top of.
No, he explains it's why is it? He was just being he was kind of why does Rose fall in love with Finn in the last minute? And I'm like, well, I don't know.
Well, the line she says is super cheesy.
But it's why is the salt red? No, that was art. That was art. So they could do this, and he left the room. Because I will fight you. God, the crate scenes in that movie are amazing. It's fantastic.
Anyway, here are 7. There's a Digital Spy. 7 fan theories ranked by chances of them actually happening. So number 7 is the most ridiculous, and number 1 is fact.
Or the most likely.
No, it's fact.
It's fact.
Number 7, Finn. It's all just a dream of Coma Finn.
This is Jacob's ladder scenario where he hit his head. But yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense because he's in the back to suit or whatever it is. But those stories are fun, but they're just cop outs to do new things, I guess.
God, it is the worst idea ever. Here's the thing. Yeah, I like Jacob's ladder and Dallas. It works. Yeah, Bob Newhart.
You can like kill off all your characters or do something drastic with the characters and then be like, nope.
But it's so cheap. Remember Jurassic Park 3 when they were making Jurassic Park 4? When they were initially talking about Jurassic Park 4, they were like, Jurassic Park 3 would just be all a dream. Because it ends with the pterodactyls leaving.
Yeah.
10, 15 years later, we have a movie called Jurassic Park 5 Fallen Kingdom with the same ending. Just saying.
Spoilers.
No, it's not a spoiler. You haven't seen it yet.
No.
The whole movie is given away in the TV spots.
Spoilers.
It's not really a spoiler. The movie can't be spoiled. Number 6, Luke is on a nudist colony. So at the end of The Last Jedi, he presumably dies.
Yeah.
But his robes get left behind.
Which is not a new concept.
So Mark Hamill likes the idea that he actually just teleported himself to a nudist colony, which I think would be amazing and terrifying at the same time. Because as a Star Wars, I mean, he was already on a nudist colony when you think of it. There was him. The caretakers weren't nude, but Space Cow with nipples.
Yeah.
Porgs. What's that? Yeah, number 5. I think this one is more likely than they do, I guess, but probably not. Snoke is not dead.
Okay. I don't know. I think his scene is cool that he dies, so it's like, bye. And it makes Kylo more interesting because he's not following into the line of Vader so much. It's like, oh, it's something different. So,
for me, I agree. I think Kylo should have killed Snoke. He should stay dead, but they need to explain who the hell this guy was, because as I just said, the more we know about Snoke, the more Kylo's actions are impactful and meaningful.
Yeah.
Because now it's just, oh, he just killed an old guy who kind of knew the Force.
Yeah. Who
didn't exist at all through six previous films, or 8 if you include Solo and Rogue One, which he would have existed for, from what we know. So he's like an inconsequential character who got killed.
Yeah. And, it'd be nice to see evil Force user to unleash, like Vader and the Emperor. Like, yeah, they're powerful, but you don't see it ever on the films. So, like, now that they can make it happen, like, let's do it.
Yeah, I think, look, Snoke, I don't need him to come back from the dead, but even just a line of dialogue from Kyle, like, I killed the guy who deceived.
Yeah, give us more on Snoke, that'd be great.
Just like those 3 lines, you're like, well,
yeah,
that makes everything that just happened so much more impactful. Yeah. This one, I think, is actually 100% likely to happen because there are rumors that Rey will have a child in the episode 9, The Next Jedi. It's called The Next Jedi.
The Next Jedi.
So Rey and Broom Boy hook up. What? How is this more plausible of happening than Snoke being dead?
Yeah. It's so weird. It's like, why do people... But it's just, I feel like it's just them trying to be like an Anakin Padme sort of thing where it's like, he's a boy in 1, but he's actually, he's like 10 and she's like 16.
Yeah, but you know
like, that's weird.
You know that they never met also.
Exactly. That part too. Like,
the next one I think actually does have a chance of happening.
Just say it.
Han Solo is Rey's father. Sure. I don't think it will happen, but I think it's more like. But the thing is, we haven't been told otherwise yet.
She's a garbage person. She's a garbage pail kid.
So was Han.
Oh. Interesting.
Just say like I'm telling you, I know everyone gets mad, but a lot of people are still thinking that she's a Solo, and we have not been told otherwise yet. We haven't been told anything other than her parents were junk dealers.
Yeah.
Who were drunk junk dealers or drunk dealers?
They retcon it's like your mother was a Terrakasi master. I'm like, Kira.
But they don't even have to retcon it because we don't know anything. They're
Yeah.
like Han Solo, and when Leia they broke up, Han got drunky. It doesn't make sense. I think in the book, the bloodline kind of ruins that.
Yeah.
But anyway, number 2, it's actually a prequel trilogy to another sequel trilogy.
So this all will make sense in something else. Okay. Sweet.
But it's still what you just said makes no sense because the sequel trilogy, the original trilogy makes sense without the prequel. They should make sense without needing to make sense. Like I really think 9 is gonna blow us away. $1.5 billion at the box office.
Yeah, like it's. I mean, the prequels do a story where it's like, oh, now I understand. But then, yeah, you're right. It has its own storyline to it. So, like, that doesn't really... Doing it the reverse doesn't make sense.
And number 1 fan theory that is 100% going to happen. Captain Phasma is alive.
Okay. Sure. Why not? I mean... Everybody can come out of a fiery explosion at some point, and it's fine. I don't know, like... We're getting her in Resistance, so, like, why do we need any more Phasma in the current timeline? Though, I will say this. I would like to know more about the First Order creating their own army. But I guess you could do that in Resistance as well, so... What do we know?
I think I said this on our defunct episode that she probably shouldn't even have been in episode 8. I think her and Maz, the only reason why they're in The Last Jedi is because of contracts. That's what I think. I think they were contractually obligated to be in it, and that's why we have Phasma doing not much. We have Maz with a jetpack.
You know what would have been really cool in that friggin' movie? Because, like, Phasma's barely in the movie. And you just get that one scene where she fights Finn. Great. It would have been better if, like, the character they went to get information, so the DJ character, at some point turns around and puts the helmet on. And then fights, like... Because it's just sort of like, oh yeah, we gotta throw her in. I'm not saying DJ... Like, yeah, it's a female voice, so we expect a female. But maybe that's just the... Like, something like that would have been... interesting. It wouldn't be original, but it'd be like, oh, that's cool. But then you have to change the entire storyline because it's just like, oh, they just... No, I guess you don't. If they can figure out that... If the First Order can figure out what the Rebels or Resistance is doing, DJ makes a lot more sense because he just happens to be there right when they need him, so... I don't know.
I have a question for you. How many times have you seen The Last Jedi?
Probably like 5 or 6 times. I haven't rewatched it since like it was... I bought the digital copy, but I haven't watched it on Netflix yet.
What do you think of Canto Bight?
In what regards? Like I liked it visually. Or
just visually?
Like just the storyline?
Yeah, with like the whole, like as a whole.
I mean, it's a fun storyline for the sake of like we're up to hijinks. And I think I've said before, it's like it's also an example of like, well, we're trying to make a movie where you can't just automatically find what you need to do and then it backfires for them. But because of how their entire plan kind of backfires, kind of makes like, what's the point of the storyline? Besides what I've said, where it's like, you can't just like charge into something and it'll work. And maybe that's the whole point of that movie, where it's like, it's not always gonna work out perfectly. Empire is kind of the same, but no one wants you to compare Last Jedi to Empire. Like,
see, I like the Canto Bight stuff, but I completely agree. But that's the flaw of The Last Jedi, is there are paths that they're on,
yeah,
and then they're like ha, and it's nonstop ha-has in the movie. Like every time something happens, it's like ha, gotcha,
yeah,
and it gets tiring at one point. You're like, I'm tired. But as Canto Bight though, because I saw a meme of J.J. Abrams, and he holds, that's a meme, and he's holding up episode 9 ideas, Canto Bight, and then the next one's episode 9 ideas, Canto Bight, but it's crossed out because of the fan reaction. And I laughed. I don't think we'd ever go back to Canto Bight. It's like one of those one-off planets, which everyone seems to forget. This is another thing with this fandom that annoys me. We get a lot of one-offs in every, like, how many times have we gone back to Camino?
Never.
Kashyyyk.
Yeah, I mean, in movies once.
Exactly. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's just, I'm just talking about movies. We never go back to any of these things. Yet when in the sequel trilogy, it's like, wow, like we're talking about, like, look, I'd love some OG aliens.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any until Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And the only reason we want them is because they showed up in the prequel trilogy. It would really be nice to get more, but part of the course of Star Wars, we get new ones as it goes on.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I would love some more original trilogy aliens showing up, but we need to just reel it in.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the thing is, like, yeah, you want to say that because it's like these new movies is like, well, this is 40 years later, and we like all these aliens. Why not just put them in again? Because it's like you can't, like the original. It's like, oh, we're thinking them up as we go, right? So,
I also think part of the problem is like Jabba the Hutt. I would love Jabba to come back, but how do you do Jabba? You do him as a puppet, then we're gonna be like, that doesn't look real. You do him as CG, we're gonna be like, that doesn't look real.
Yeah.
You can't win with Jabba.
Nope.
So I think the way they handled him in Solo was perfect.
Oh yeah, just mentioning him.
Well, they didn't even mention him.
It's like they never really say.
No.
Do they say?
No.
I feel like they say Hutt Cartel, but not in regards to
they
Jabba.
mentioned Hutt Cartel, Crimson Dawn, and something else. It's probably what's it called?
God, I want them to make. You know what?
Black Sun.
I want them. Black Sun. Yeah, I want them to make a second Han Solo.
You're not alone.
Make it. Just
make it for your streaming.
Make a trilogy. Yeah, make it for streaming. Oh.
I think this is how I think Star Wars should go. A saga film in 2019, 2020. Just give me something on your streaming site.
Yeah.
2021 saga film. I know it doesn't help you in the box office, but if the numbers for the spin-offs are going to be like Solo, just freaking put it on your streaming site.
Like, people are going to go see Star Wars movies till the end of the time. It's just how it's going to be. And maybe they won't all be successful. Maybe they won't always make all their money back, but people will go see these movies. Like, people are still seeing Purge movies.
I haven't seen the new one yet.
And I'm not criticizing anyone that likes the Purge movies. I get it. They're fun movies.
Have you seen the second one?
Yes.
That's the best one.
It is.
Because it's just
really
the Punisher.
Good.
It's just the Punisher.
Yeah.
Frank Grillo's great.
But, like, yeah, like, it's just, like... but, like, this is a multi... like, it's Star Wars makes money in comics, books, movies, toys, everything. Like, you can get anything with Star Wars. You can get bananas with Star Wars on it.
I will not be getting Thrawn alliances.
Oh, my God. You heard it here first, folks. This is not James.
It's Rob.
It's been Rob the whole time. No.
We should have... Can you add that to the news?
Yeah.
Because Thrawn alliances is looking...
super cool.
Because I was like, I'm not going to buy it right away. I'm going to wait. Now I'm like, oh, my God. How do I not get this book right away? Because I want the San Diego Comic-Con cover. Can't get it.
No. Well, maybe through back channels.
I'm not paying like...
Yeah.
I don't even want to pay $20.
I'm surprised you want to buy a physical copy, right?
Only
like
for
you
that
usually
cover.
get digital, right? But yeah.
Well, if I like at Celebration, I tried to get the Thrawn novel there, but I got the digital copy of it. But I tried like if it was like an exclusive somewhere, that would be a cool souvenir. I would totally do it. No, I'm gonna get the digital copy on my Kobo Kindle for you Americans.
Maybe we'll get like we probably won't, but like because Funko, all of their exclusives, well, like 3/4 of their exclusives are going to be released in retail as well. So it's like, I think they're getting that like, well, not everyone can go, especially now that like San Diego has like 60 Funko releases alone.
This is what I would.
Exclusives.
I get that, but I also think there should be like one thing for the people that go to these conventions that they're like, I'm the only one that can get this.
Yeah. But
Not
people
20
are
of them.
making that problem. Like
Yeah.
that's the problem. Like, so it would be nice. But yeah, I get it.
No, and
like,
the problem also though
exclusivity.
is like I'm gonna Comic-Con, I'm gonna get an exclusive, and then I'm gonna sell it on eBay for $3,000.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And then Funko's like, well, screw you.
Yeah.
We'll just sell them everywhere, so you get.
There's like lotteries and all that. It's such a whole thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, well, look at your experience with the pins at Celebration. It's such a great idea because it's like it forces you to go. Forces you to go to different booths and get these things. But
Which was cool, except that you would go to a booth and they're like, we got 3. You're like, what? 3? There's 4 billion people here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think
Sold out in 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I went on the I went on the Sunday to get I wanted the Greedo one.
Yeah.
And I got there as the doors opened and they're like, we're out. I was like, how the hell are you out?
Yeah.
So then I got the Finn one because the Finn one was, who had it? Sphero had it. But Sphero's booth was like hidden. So there was like nobody there. Nobody could find it. So I was like, oh, I know where Sphero is. So I just went there. But like literally, I got there as a door open. And they're like, nope. And then I went to the store at literally the doors open at what, 10?
Yeah.
And I got to the store at like 10:05. The lineup was 3 to 4 hours.
I'm curious if that's why this year's or next year's celebration is 5 days and the first day is just like nothing. Like it's just coming.
But
like,
I think it's sold out the first day.
Well, yeah, but like it's not so much about buying stuff because any convention loves the idea that people are rushing around to get these exclusives and stuff like that. But like the lines of like just the ridiculous lines that were in Orlando, like it just, I don't know. Maybe that's what. And then maybe we can spend the day trying to find all pins or collectibles or whatever it is. That'd be fun.
I just hope that they have more than one store, maybe, or let more people into it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
don't they want me to spend my money on garbage?
Yeah.
Like I was like willing to spend money on garbage in the store.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, no, you didn't get a speed pass because I'm like, yeah, but I'm sorry. It's not the first thing I thought of the day the trailer came out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so you won't get my money.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
That's their loss, as they say in. I'm gonna stop working. As they say in thing. Want to go to this part?
Yeah. Never tell me the odds. You never told me what the odds are today.
I like it better this way because I find that you don't think about them.
Thanks.
Like you're more spontaneous.
Yeah.
I can't think. I'm tired. Here we go.
Hi.
We talked about this briefly. Just a second ago. The odds of the sequel trilogy being the odds of a sequel trilogy.
Being a prequel to a
sequel trilogy.
New trilogy where this will all make sense. 20%. Like, neat, I guess. I mean, I like the idea. I like the idea of, like, this is our plan. Things might slightly change, but this is where we're going. I mean, I think that's the success of MCU. They're like, oh, we're going to get to this. We're going to get to Infinity War. Or we're going to get to Civil War. Or whatever you want to call it. There's little checkpoints along the way, but then how you get there, it doesn't matter. So yeah, but like that's bogus. Like 20%.
I think right now in the near future 0, but I think at some point I really do believe we're going to get a 10, 11, 12.
Oh yeah, I'm like it's
so
yeah.
Full Brock because 0 on one hand and 100 on the other. We got to meet in the middle. The next odd, the odds of Lando Calrissian being Finn's father. That's a joke. The odds of Lando having a jetpack.
Oh.
Can you imagine they're like, we don't want Billy D walking around because of his bad knees, so we just put him in a jetpack and it's just him like digitally in the air the whole movie.
Hello.
How you doing, Skywalker?
No, he's like
still have that cape I gave you.
He's like what's that guy's name from Captain America that's in the computer? Zola.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He's just in a computer. No, he's in a computer that's in Lobot's chest.
Do you think we'll ever see Lobot again?
I hope so. Or,
Do you think Lando gets Lobot because of his loss to L3? And he's like, I gotta have half human, half robot, but also someone that, or not have, you know what I mean? But also not a female droid because I fall in love with female droids.
yeah, it's like I don't even remember the lore of Lobot because now it's like I'm sure I know they've used him in a lot of things, so I don't know how much they've retconned it. So I can't even remember. It's weird too because like we know that like he's being controlled by that. Oh, anyways, my odds are 15% because that's weird.
5% because it makes zero sense.
Maybe he just sits the whole time and it doesn't cost his arm and a leg to CG or whatever. It'd probably be like more dangerous to put him in some kind of jetpack. Or expensive because it would just be a CG Lando.
Yeah, I'm going 5. 5%. Odds of Rey's parents appearing in episode 9.
Oh, I want to go high, 90%, because I feel like that's her story. Even though it's been like, you're nobody, you can, blah, 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 you're everything to me, blah, blah. No, I think like we need even if it's just like, I found their graves. Okay, perfect. But are you just saying physically meet them? Or?
Whatever, they're in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's going to be something. There's got to be something.
Yeah, I kind of like, I'm going to go 63%.
Yeah, I think you could still do the movie without it, but
this is what I like about J.J. Abrams coming back to bring it home, is he had a plan, and whether Rian Johnson or not doesn't freaking matter. But now he gets to be like, okay, this is how I'm going to end these characters that I started. So he can do whatever. You can call it retconning, you can call it whatever.
yeah.
Or he just sticks with what Rian Johnson threw at him. He'll be like, yeah, I can make this work. I'll go with this. But either way, he gets to finish what he started.
Yeah. Get it?
Do you have news?
I have news. Hollow news. First up. So, there's a lot of Is that what's actually coming up?
No.
Okay, cool. There's with all the changes in whether or not Lucasfilms is going to make more spin-off movies. And, we don't know because, like, oh, Han Solo didn't well, so Boba Fett's coming first. Oh, no, they said Obi-Wan. But it was dropped earlier this week by the Belfast Times that the upcoming Game of Thrones spinoff was scheduled to start filming their pilot this October. It offhandedly mentioned this was part of a boon to the area, as other films will be coming in 2019, that being Ireland, I believe. Belfast and Ireland, right? Yeah. And, God, I hope I got that right. Including the latest spin-off, like, they would be doing that, plus the latest spin-off in the Star Wars franchise coming here in April 2019. As Sunday Live exclusively revealed in February, Star Wars creator George Lucas visited Northern Ireland before Christmas to seal the deal for the new standalone film. The movie will center on the life of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, with Ewan McGregor reprising his role he first played in 1999's Star Wars prequel, The Phantom Menace. So this, again, is all gossip, but it's the new things like, oh, no, that's planned that something will be shot in Ireland or Ireland adjacent in 2019. Cool. But, like, this, it's all hearsay, so. But I guess it's kind of... In our next story, they made a robotic dog. It's called Dogbot, the size of an Alsatian dog. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But it's the reason we're talking about it is it's inspired by the AT-AT walkers from Star Wars. Have you seen them? But the intention of the Dogbot is to help with mundane and maddening human jobs. It weighs under 20 kilograms and is designed for cities and buildings where a wheeled robot is impractical due to steps, potholes, and patent payments. So obviously it has legs, skinny legs. Kind of looks like even though I just said Alsatian, it kind of looks like a greyhound. It will be able to, did I already say? It weighs 20 kilograms, but it will be able to carry 10 kilograms. It would shorten the hour-long battery life, and it will be customizable with different skins and arm attachments. That sounds weird, but I guess you can modify your dog to be cute. It's going to be cheaper, lighter, and more user-friendly than the models by Google-owned U.S. rival Boston Dynamics. And don't worry, your robot dog won't eat you or kill you in your sleep, because you can stop it by pushing on the tail. I don't know. So that's cool. I want one. And then our final story, the Television Academy announcements have for the 2018 Emmy Awards coming up for TV. Star Wars Rebels was nominated in 3 separate categories: in Outstanding Children's Programming, Outstanding Music Composition for a Series, and Outstanding Sound Editing for a Comedy or Drama Series, Half Hour, and Animation. Oh, Daytime Emmys or Emmy Awards. What long titles you have for your awards. So yeah, that's great, because it's a great series, Rebels. They're going up against a lot of big heavy hitters though: Westworld, Atlanta, for kids stories, as like that the Lemony Snicket show that's on Netflix. But this is just Rebels has been nominated for Emmys Outstanding Children's Programming in 2017 and has won several Saturn Awards from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. So stuff that we care about, but probably not the rest of the world so much. But yeah, it's a good show, and it deserves everything it's nominated for.
Everything.
Soon to be replaced by Resistance as our favorite Star Wars show. Top 5.
Well, we never talked about our top 5 today, so.
Yeah, we really didn't.
We were going to talk about the Phantom Menace today.
Yeah.
But things just kind of took off.
That's how we do here. It's just organic. But we'll do it. Or do you want to change it?
Do you want to change it?
Doesn't matter to me. I'm ready.
Top 5 Star Wars video games we'd like to play?
Right now?
Top 5 Phantom Menace moments.
Top 5 Phantom Menace. Fanta Madness.
I'll go first, I guess.
Yeah.
Because my number 5 were all amazing. Because it's the best Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Number 5, the negotiations were short. I like the opening.
My number 5 is... His name is R2-D2. And the scene prior to that where he's like, I'm on the ship. You're like, that's what an astromech does. I'm like, cool. Your number 4? Or should I do my number 4?
Go for your number 4.
My number 4 will be the Battle of Naboo. Yeah. Because I think there's other fun stuff. But I like that. It's like, do a spin. That's a good trick.
My number 4, the Jedi Council.
Yes.
And when Anakin's like, a cup, a saucer. Oh. Anger leads to hate. One of the best lines in Star Wars. Yes. My number 3, R2-D2, Your Highness. Best introduction of any character in Star Wars, period. Moving on.
My number 3 is the Gungan Underwater Kingdom, where we get to sort of understand why Jar Jar Binks is banned, and just the idea of like there's another race of people on the same planet, or like you're introduced to them before you reach Naboo. And it's just fun, and you're like, oh, this is kind of neat. It's underwater, and then they go through the thingy.
Jar Jar Binks is just C-3PO. My number 2, pod racing.
Mm-hmm. My number 2 is also pod racing.
Because it's awesome?
Yeah. Very fast. Very dangerous.
No human's done it. You mean you never finished a race before? Watto. The boy and his mother.
Yeah, I feel like you can add Watto and Sebulba into saying pod racing. It's like, ooh.
Sebulba's great. Yeah. Number 1, Duel of the Fates.
Yep.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum.
I have the high ground. Oh wait, wrong movie.
Bum 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 bum.
So good. I mean,
that is I really like Rey's theme. But I will still say Duel of the Fates is the last great piece of Star Wars music that we've gotten from Sir John Williams. He's been knighted, right?
Yeah.
He's not British. But I think that's the last great piece of music. Rey's theme is, I freaking love it.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoy the solo theme that he did for Han Solo. But they are not. Bum, 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 bum.
I remember when they released that music video before the movie came out, and they played it on I had MTVs for some reason. And they played it like 5 times on TRL. That's how old that show is, or that movie is.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, have you seen the video where they show them recording?
Yes.
And then they put words in, and it's like, Lando. So good. Yeah, you know what? Suck it. Phantom Menace is a good movie.
You know what's a good movie? Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Caravan of Courage, Episode 1, New Hope
Holiday
sucks.
special.
Empire Strikes Back is my least favorite Star Wars movie.
Empire Strikes Back, I have never watched that movie.
Oh, you shouldn't. It's boring.
Oh my god.
And there's a weird twist at the end where...
I hate twists.
Oh, God. Have you ever had a Twizzler?
I did recently, actually.
That was
I ate
my
a whole
breakfast.
bag.
Do you use them as straws for your Pepsi? Or
No,
Coke?
I do not anymore.
I did that in
Doctor said I shouldn't.
I had a vodka tonic the other day. And I was like, God, I need something. And I put a Twizzler in it and I sucked out the straw. Might have got me really drunk.
Wow.
That's a lie. Bum, 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 bum. All right, guys, this has been 101 episodes of the Rebel Scum podcast.
This is Brock.
This is James. This guy was always scum.
101 Scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.